What do you get when you combine a basketball legend, a fallen sport giant, and $2.5 billion? I watched all 6 episodes of Shaq's new Netflix series to find out. And even though most celebrity businesses ventures are just marketing stunts, after watching Power Moves, I realized Shaq is playing a completely different game. Most people know him as a dominant force on the basketball court. But what this series reveals is that he quietly became one of the savviest business investors in sports, with a portfolio that would make most Wall Street pros jealous. And this Reebok bet isn't just another endorsement deal. It's the culmination of a decade-long strategy to build a business empire that will outlast his basketball legacy. Here is what most people don't realize. Shaq's investment portfolio is absolutely massive. Through his stake in Authentic Brands Group, he effectively owns pieces of Forever 21, JCPenney, Brooks Brothers, and the licensing rights to Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe, and Michael Jackson. He owns 150 car washes, 9 Papa John's franchises, and previously owned 155 Five Guys locations. But Reebok, that's personal. This is the company that gave him his first signature shoe deal back in the 90s. And watching them fade into irrelevance has been eating at him for years. The series shows us just how brutal the athletic shoe business really is. Back in Shaq's playing days, it was Nike, Adidas, and Reebok fighting for dominance. Today, it's Nike, Converse, Under Armour, Puma, and Adidas. Notice what's missing? Reebok has basically disappeared from basketball. Their last major basketball star was Allen Iverson, and that was well over a decade ago. Meanwhile, Nike doesn't just sell shoes, they sell dreams, culture, and identity. Breaking into that market requires more than just money and celebrity endorsements. As Shaq puts it in the series, "My name is all I got. I don't want my name to be associated with failure." The series follows their attempts to sign established stars, but because of a lot of competition, they have to shift the strategy. Instead of chasing players who are already expensive, they decide to find the next generation of talent before anyone else does. We see them scouting players in colleges, in the NBA and WNBA. It's basically Moneyball, but for basketball shoes. The idea is simple. If you can't afford to outbid Nike for LeBron James, find the next LeBron James while they are still affordable. Here is what really caught my attention as an investor. The series accidentally teaches you about long-term thinking and relationship building in business. Shaq talks about creating lasting partnerships with players, not just quick endorsement deals. It is exactly like building a relationship with a company you want to invest in for a long term. The best businesses aren't built on short-term contracts. They are built on trust, shared vision, and mutual success. When players believe in the brand, when they feel like partners rather than just spokespersons, that's when the magic happens. But there is also a harsh reality here. Even with all of Shaq's money and influence, competing with Nike is like trying to fight a heavyweight champion while you are still learning to box. For us as investors, there is a bigger lesson here. The whole company, everybody there is talking about one goal: to beat Nike. Nike is the gold standard. It is a company that everybody is afraid of. That is a very important piece of information. I'm sure that creators are using Nike as a company to beat for dramatic purposes. We need a goal and a villain in a story. But the fact that they chose Nike tells us a lot about the power of this brand. So it may be wise to look at Nike a bit closer. And if you would like to learn more, you can find my analysis of Nike here. Now, let's be honest. This series is basically a 3-hour commercial for Reebok and Shaq. He's one of the producers, so he definitely controlled the narrative. A significant chunk of the story focuses on his personal relationship with his son, which, while touching, doesn't exactly scream business documentary. But here is what's fascinating. Even as glorified advertisement, it reveals the massive challenges facing anyone trying to compete with Nike's dominance. Nike has spent decades building relationships with top athletes, creating cultural moments, and embedding themselves into the DNA of basketball. They are not just selling shoes. They are selling identity, and that is real brand power. What the series doesn't fully explain is just how much money is really at risk here. Shaq's net worth is estimated at around $500 million, and a significant portion of that is tied up in ABG stock. If Reebok succeeds, he gets richer. If it fails, he could lose tens of millions of dollars. But for ABG, the stakes are even higher. They've made their biggest bet ever on a brand that most young customers have completely forgotten about. In an industry where brand loyalty is everything, they are trying to convince a new generation to care about a name their parents remember. It is going to be tough. So, should you watch Power Moves? If you are a basketball fan who loves behind-the-scenes drama, absolutely. If you are interested in the history of sports apparel companies and how they fight for market share, it's worth your time. But if you are looking for hard-hitting business analysis or investment insights, you might come away disappointed. This is more about relationships, family, and the power of believing in a comeback story than it is about financial strategy. Still, there is something inspiring about watching someone put their reputation and money on the line to revive a brand they believe in. Whether Shaq and Reebok succeed or fail, they are giving us a masterclass in what it takes to challenge an industry giant. And sometimes that's exactly the kind of long-term thinking we need more of in investing. The question is, will nostalgia and celebrity star power be enough to take on the most dominant sports brand in the world? I guess we'll find out together. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.